Here's a story-style retelling of India's independence, written like a flowing narrative rather than a historical summary. The dawn of freedom. The sun was setting over the dusty plains of India, casting long shadows across villages and cities alike. For centuries, the land had been under foreign rule. First the merchants of the East India Company, then the mighty British Crown. But beneath the quiet hum of daily life, a storm of resistance was brewing. In the early 20th century, a frail man dressed in simple khadi cloth walked barefoot across the land. His name was Mahatma Gandhi, and though he carried no weapons, his call for truth and nonviolence stirred millions. Farmers, workers, students, and women ordinary people joined him in defiance. They refused British goods, marched against unjust laws, and filled prisons with their courage. The British tried to silence them with bullets, as in Amritsar's Jallianwala Bagh, where hundreds were massacred. But instead of fear, the tragedy lit a fire that spread across the nation. The struggle intensifies, years passed, and the cry for freedom grew louder. Gandhi's Salt March in 1930 was a turning point. Thousands walked with him to the sea, scooping up handfuls of salt as an act of rebellion against colonial taxes. It was a simple gesture, yet it shook the empire. Meanwhile, leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru dreamed of a modern, democratic India, while Subhas Chandra Bose sought independence through armed struggle. Different paths, one goal: freedom. The world changes. World War II weakened Britain. Exhausted and indebted, the empire could no longer hold its colonies with the same iron grip. In India, the Quit India movement of 1942 demanded immediate independence. The streets echoed with chants of "do or die." By 1947, the tide was unstoppable. Britain agreed to leave, but not without dividing the land. The partition carved India and Pakistan out of one body, and millions were forced to leave their homes. The joy of freedom was shadowed by sorrow, as violence and migration tore through communities. The midnight hour. On the night of August 15, 1947, as the clock struck midnight, Nehru stood before the Constituent Assembly in New Delhi. His voice trembled with emotion as he declared, "At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom." The tricolor flag rose high, and the nation breathed as a free people for the first time in centuries. Epilogue. India's independence was not a gift. It was won through sacrifice, resilience, and unity. It was the story of millions who believed that even the mightiest empire could be challenged by the will of ordinary people. And so, a new chapter began. The story of the world's largest democracy, born from struggle, hope, and the dream of freedom. Like, follow and share for more stories like this.